Where are you underestimated? Where do they not see you coming? Where could you jump in a company, jump in a business, ramp up your real estate, do things? Don't feel like, here's the thing. I hate when people say what they're gonna do. I love when they just show me. In your life, has anybody ever told you you can't? And how do you flip that around? That's the first one. Now, these are brand new. I've been thinking through this underdog advantage process a lot lately. I'm teaching it, talking it into life. This helps me as much as it helps you, because it'll help me go deeper on new books, go deeper on my training, because that's my life. This is my life now. My life is to go out there, forge new paths, figure out what works, come back and share it with you and my high-level mastermind group. So I'm so happy to have you guys here. Remember, if you have a question, put the Q in, and Patrick will write down as many as he can. Of course, I won't get to all of them, but I'll get as many as I can. Okay, number 2 of the unfair advantages. Number 2 is they never see you coming. You're always underestimated. Here's what I've come to love. Ready for this? I know there's some great people, some great business people that tell you, and I'm not saying it's wrong. Believe me, but I'm telling you, this is me. And I don't want to talk too much about me, but it's the only way I can lead through example. At this phase of my life, I love being underestimated more than anything. I don't know if you guys have known the last couple of years, all I wear is t-shirts. By the way, this isn't one t-shirt. I have like 20 of these. And I have like 5 colors and 20 of these shirts. I feel blessed. I had a partner that we did really great business together, real estate and a whole bunch of other stuff, and he was a watch person. And he bought me some of the most amazing watches on the planet. Watches, I mean, I had a watch on yesterday, it was almost $50,000 or $42,000, something crazy. I would never spend that for a watch, even if I had 17 gazillion dollars. But I had on yesterday, it was the first time I had a watch on in almost 2 years. I'm in this place in my life where I want to be underestimated. It makes life easier because it empowers me. I found a way. I know some people teach, perfect suit, dress sharp, pointy shoes, shiny. I own all that stuff. And maybe in 6 months from now, a year, I'll go through that phase. But where I'm at right now is I like to be underestimated because they never see me coming. I've had big multi-million-dollar companies with board of directors and CEOs look at I run my companies, I own my companies, have about 13 companies, I run them, and I know for a fact some of them are like, that they won't get to us because we're a big conglomerate, and I love that. And they never see me coming, and I drive right past them like I have nitrous, and they're dragging concrete blocks behind their car. I love that. But let me give you an example. I want to give you this, and I want to give you as many examples as I can today, because I want you to frame this in your whole life. Like, I want you to think about, well, they don't think I can do it. Instead of, oh, they don't think I can. I'm nervous about saying what's on my mind. I'm nervous about asking the partnership. No, if they don't think you can, use that as fuel. I love when people look at me like, who's this guy? Does he know? Like, again, framework, flip the framework. So example, conference room. Now I could share an exact scenario here. I wrote down conference room story that I want to share with you, but let's just think about this. In every single negotiation I go into, everything, you know what I love more than anything? I love when everybody's dressed in suits and dressed sharp. And I love people who dress nice. I love to dress nice when I go out. But if I'm going into a really important meeting, the more important the meeting, I just closed a $14 million deal, 6 months ago. And I wore this t-shirt, not this exact one, but one just like it, a pair of jeans and some Nikes. Literally at the deal, on purpose. But I want to tell you, so here's what I like. I want you to visualize a conference room. I close a lot of deals at this phase of my life, a lot of partnerships. I'm buying into a couple companies right now, and I love negotiating. I love to make it a win-win for everybody. Never looking to take advantage of anybody, ever. But here's what I know. I love going in, and everybody's dressed to the nines, couple attorneys, right? Couple CEO, everybody's dressed nice. I like walking in like this, because I know at first they're like, you get the memo, this is when you're supposed to dress up. And then secondly, I like the fact that I don't wear a watch. That helps me in my loving being underestimated. And then third, I never talk when I first go in. I introduce myself and I sit. And and especially, listen, I'm a dude, I'm a guy. I love I have testosterone. I'm a driver. I'm enthusiastic. I love closing deals. I love winning as long as it's a win for everybody. But what I've come to realize is most men especially, like, want to come in and just vomit up everything they're all about and what they want. Hey, listen, this deal, I want to tell you, I'm going to go first. We've been doing this for 14 years. We've compiled this together, and this is what I want. This is what we could do. We could take the numbers to do. And I just sit and listen. And just sit and listen. And I even get to the point where it's uncomfortable, especially if someone's trying to sell me or I want to buy from them. If I get to the point where I don't ask many questions or don't talk, I can feel they're underestimating me. Like in their head, they're doing one of two things. They're like, everybody said this guy was smart. He shows up in a t-shirt and he hasn't said 2 words. But what happens is that uncomfortableness or that underestimating you, what happens is people just continue to talk. And here's what I know, a couple strategic questions like, so I don't understand, if we did this deal, what would that look like in a year from now? That's like, maybe I say that 15 minutes in, and if this was a complete win and we were celebrating a year from now, what do you think that would look like? Like the silly questions, like the old Columbo questions. You ever watch that old show Columbo on TV? My whole point is, what'll happen is, because they underestimate me, because they're uncomfortable because I haven't said much, or maybe they think I'm an idiot, they start to talk about the things that I'm using as my fuel. They start telling you what their desires are, what their fears are. People will get to, if I don't close this, I'm not going to get the promotion. If we don't close this deal, we really don't have the cash flow to get to the next level. If I don't close this deal, and people just talk and talk and talk. And then I come in at the end, and being underestimated all of a sudden flips when I close the deal in about 5 minutes. When I go, because I accumulate all this, I know your fears, I know your worries, I know your desires, I know your dreams, and the cool part is I don't use it unfairly. I want to make fair deals for everybody, but someone else is being unfair and I need to get them where they are, I will win every time because I walked in and I was underestimated, and I listened, and I listened, and I accumulated, and when I regurgitate it back, it's a win. I want you to think about that. Where are you underestimated? Where do they not see you coming? Where could you jump in a company, jump in a business, ramp up your real estate, do things? Don't feel like, here's the thing. I hate when people say what they're going to do. I love when they just show me. Be that person that just shows people. Have that, I love the word quiet confidence. Like, you don't have to wear if you love it, that's great, but you don't have to wear the Rolex and drive the Rolls Royce to be successful. Success could mean anything you want. You got $2 million in the bank, or whatever that number is, or you get to retire your wife, or help your parents out, or be with your kids more. That's success. Let that fuel this. Again, why am I going so deep on this? Because especially in the last year of being around so many people around the world, I know we all feel like an underdog, and I did my whole life. And now I look back and I thank God I was the underdog. I do. I thank God that things didn't go my way because I had to find new ways. I had to transform those feelings that were anchors into gasoline. Do you feel this? Do you see the shift? Do you see how you could change the framework? Let me know if you're liking this stuff. What's up, Liberio, Deborah, Wallace, Ken, Irene, Sally, Francis, everybody, Deborah. Good to have you guys here. Okay, number 3. Innovation is a must. Underdog advantage number 3, innovation. Think about that. You see, I don't know how to start a company that's not making money and raise a whole bunch of capital and use other people's money to see if you make it work. Now, I'm not knocking that at all. It's because I'm limited on my knowledge on that. That's it. I'm just not smart enough to know how to do it. And I have so many friends that are in Silicon Valley, and everybody's fighting to come up with the next thing, the next widget, the next app, the next Facebook, the next Instagram. They're fighting for that. And a lot of these companies will go raise 20, 30, 50 million. Some of them raise 400 million before they've made $1, before they've made a penny. And then I look at, now, again, I'm not knocking this. I don't want to seem like I'm bitter. I have so many successful friends that their families were successful, and they just carried it on. That's what I want with my kids. I don't want to have to make my kids suffer. I want to teach them the right values so they take on what I've done and start off where I left off, right? But just think about if everything went smooth. You weren't an underdog. Nothing went wrong in your childhood. Perfect parents, perfect income, perfect location. Then you went to the perfect college. And then when you got out of the perfect college, you had the money to start a company. I've watched this happen. Sometimes when you have money to start a company, you're setting yourself up for failure because you don't need it to cash flow. So I'm going to use this one example, this one thought process is every company I've ever started. I sold firewood in high school, fixed wreck cars out of high school, fixed wreck cars for business, fixed wreck cars to sell, and then I started buying rundown houses and remodeling them and putting apartments in them, and then I started subdividing land and building houses, and then I went in the education business, and then the book business, and the live event business, and then, sharing now in masterminds and trainings like this, right? As I went through all those companies, never once in any of them did anyone ever give me money to start. So guess what I had to be? Unfair advantage number 3. I had to be innovative. I had to create cash flow, profitable companies. So now what you could say is, oh man, I have nobody in my family that's got money. I have nobody that's got faith in me to lend me money. I can't get any money from the bank. Damn it, I can't go in business. Or you can say, I have no money. Banks won't give me money. I have no friends that'll lend it to me, no partners. I gotta be innovative. I gotta find ways to cash flow right away. My company's cash flow 2 weeks, 3 weeks into the company, because I have to. That's how I grow everything. But that started because I was a broke kid with nothing. Now I know no other way. I'm gonna launch 2 new companies you'll see over the next 6 months, gonna blow your mind. One partnering with a great dude in the fitness world, and something else that I gotta wait and tell you when it's done. But both of those companies, I could fund both of them with millions of dollars, just being honest. I'm not. I'm using the same model, that same innovativeness, that's the word, being innovative, coming up with unique ways to say, no, I'm not one of those guys that's gonna run a company for 5 years and get a great evaluation and hope this, I don't know how to do that. I was an underdog with nothing, and I had to use that to my advantage, and that advantage turned it into, I had to find a way to be innovative, I keep using that word, to be cash flow right away or I would be broke. So now, take that underdog disadvantage and make it your underdog advantage. You don't have money, and if you don't think you can make something work without using money, then Google people that have. Google Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, me, so many successful people started with nothing. I know you might be facing stuff that I don't even know about. I get that. But here's what I know. Did you ever have a headache and you go online and you Google for what could this headache be? And by the time you're done, you feel like you got a tumor and you got 3 months to live, right? We find what we were looking for. If you went online with the headache and wanted to search for someone that said, you just didn't have enough water, drink a glass, you'll be fine, you could find that in 2 minutes. But our brains want to go towards the tumor and what could be worst case scenario. So we do that in our own lives. Like, I don't have any money. Look, my friend tried with no money, it didn't work. You're just searching for what went wrong. Your subconscious is looking for security so you can feel safe about your inaction. Get disturbed, get uncomfortable. Go online and Google and find successful people who started with nothing, that had massive fear, that were scared. And all of a sudden you'll see all these people, all these millionaires, all these great, hugely successful people that started with nothing. And all of a sudden you start building momentum, and then you say, I'm gonna create innovation here. I'm gonna create cash flow. We're talking about business, but could that be the same in every area of your life? Of course it can. So think of the unfair advantage we have of being an underdog because we get to be creative. That was number 3. Okay, number 4. Unfair underdog advantage number 4. Enthusiasm over perfection. I want you to think about that. Enthusiasm over perfection. Now, I told you before about the books, but I want to tell you in life, I don't have a vast vocabulary, and I can't spell for crap. I spell so bad that literally when I type, there's so many words lit up, it's like every third word is lit up. And sometimes the words, I try to respell them like 4 times, and if the computer could talk, it'd be like, yo, bro, I don't know what you're doing, try something else. Or you're an idiot. I don't know, I'm glad it can't talk to me, and I'll just come up with a simpler word. I don't have a vast vocabulary. I'm not the smartest guy in the room when it comes to book smart. I don't watch the news. I have no idea what's going on around the world. I don't. Clueless. People come up and like, well, you know what happened with Trump, or you know what happened in South America, or you know what? I'm like, I don't. I haven't watched the news in probably over 10 years. All it does is bring me down. I protect my confidence, so I don't watch the news. I didn't have a lot of experience in these new companies. When somebody says you're going to write a book or you're going to go on stage, hey, people say to me, I'm going to go on stage, and somebody say, did you take journalism in school? Did you go to college for that? Like, did you train under a mentor? No experience. And most of the times, like I said on the last one, I had no money. So here's what I know. Sometimes when you have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, you're obsessing on perfection. You're obsessing on the details. You're overanalyzing so much that it's causing you to be paralyzed and do nothing. Being an underdog, you're starting to wear this as a badge of honor, right? Did you feel that? I don't know if you did. The way I said it, I felt it internally. Like, I want someone to go, I want to have a shirt that says, I'm an underdog, right? Where I overcame things going where I didn't have the money or the vocabulary, or I didn't have the super smarts or the money or the experience, I masked with enthusiasm. And if you look at underdog stories from the movies, right, from the horse races and the Olympics and the games that shouldn't have been won, when you take the, I don't know, what was it in the 90s when the American hockey team won? I don't know if you guys know. I'm asking my team. What's that? Yeah. Google it real quick. Anyway, before they let American athletes that were professionals play in the Olympics, you might know this story, you probably know it better than me, you guys can tell me, it was just college kids. And at the last minute, they just round up these college kids to play against the world's best hockey players in the world, and America won. Biggest underdog upset. But one thing I noticed, what did they have? They were enthusiastic as shit, for lack of a better word. I remember watching the Russian team, like, just no enthusiasm, just like, I'm not going to try to talk with a Russian accent. I almost did, but I'm not even going to try. But I remember, like, they were just like, these guys, they're not going to have any chance with us. No enthusiasm, just thinking they were going to do it. And then all of a sudden, the enthusiasm, to me, helped carry that team to win the Olympics. It was the biggest upset ever. But think of basketball games, think of horse races, Olympics, in your own life when you were the underdog. What carried me wasn't the book smart, wasn't the money, wasn't the experience, wasn't the vocabulary, surely wasn't the connections. I knew no one with money when I was a kid. You know what carried me? Enthusiasm. I just found a way to turn this. I can be the underdog with the anchor, carrying it, dragging it across the desert, or I could say, I'm a freaking underdog. They are never going to see me coming. They told me they can't. Watch what I do. Oh, I don't have money? I'll just get innovative. I'll find a way to get the money. I'll get the money. And that led to this enthusiasm that drove me. I mean, think about this. I hope you follow me because I share incredible wisdom, knowledge, and capabilities. But if I shared the same exact thing every month, when you showed up here live or you're watching this as a replay, if I said, today, we're going to talk about the underdog advantage, on how you can use the things that people think hurt you and use them in a way to position yourself for wealth and abundance. I'd like to start with number one. You guys would be done with me in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, you would be done, out. I don't care how good the wisdom was. It's because I hope that you see this is authentic enthusiasm, but if I really boil it back down, it came out because I was an underdog. I didn't have all the other stuff. So I had to go to the thing that boosted my confidence and got results, and that was having enthusiasm. Hey, Patrick, start getting those questions together here. And in about 5 minutes, I'll have you come up and share those with me. And if I see a lot coming in, so maybe you could pick what you believe are the top 5 that would really help, and we'll start there. 1981, that's when, wow, 1981, it was that long ago? Yeah. I'd love to say I wasn't born, but I was probably in 8th grade. Damn it. Yeah, so I remember seeing that. Okay, number 5. Now I'm going to create a lot more underdog advantages. I've been thinking through these, as you could tell, but I want to make it 10 total, but today we're going to cover 5. And here's one that you might not think is an underdog advantage, is transform heartbreak into your leverage. So as an underdog, your parents or your friends may not have faith in you or support you. And that's heartbreaking. Did you ever have like you watched me one day, you read my book or somebody else, or you saw something online, or you got involved in my real estate course, and you're like, damn, I'm doing this, and you're using the power of you don't even know you are. You're being innovative, you're enthusiastic, and you go tell the person you care about the most, and they shut you down like a lid, just like shutting off the light switch. Like, oh, that's so dumb. This is the wrong time. You don't have the money, and they shut you down. That's heartbreaking. Also, I've watched so many people when they have a desire for more. You're growing, okay? So I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me at has ever happened in your life. If you're watching me, you're someone who's working on your personal growth. You're working on your success. You want another level of life. You realize one of the biggest plights of our world is living knowing you have untapped potential. It's the worst feeling in the world. You know you got more gas in the tank, but you're not putting the throttle down because people are telling you and you can't. I just told my daughter, I stole this from Sean Stevenson, the 3-foot giant, my dear friend. He said, don't ever let anyone dim your glow so you can match them. You're bright. People are like, nah. And a lot of times we turn down our light so we can match that. Screw that. Brighten yours up more. But it's heartbreaking because here's what I want to ask, and you guys can be honest with me. Have you ever been in a relationship? Could be family, friends, partnership, or significant other. You're in a relationship. You, because you're here, there's a million other things you could be doing. You're here with me. You're working on your personal growth. You are. Your success, abundance. You want to tap into that next level, not leave it. Don't die at 98 years old and go, wow, I had a lot more to give the world, but I didn't. Oh my God, did you feel that? Screw that. I want to be like, nothing left. I'm done. Time to go. Nothing left. But think about this. You're working on your personal growth. You start with somebody here. They are at this level, but they decide this is a perfect level for them. And all of a sudden, you're continuing to work on your personal growth, and you're going higher. And you're going higher. And now they're saying, oh, stop, you're getting all foo-foo. Oh my God, what are you going to go to a Tony Robbins event and jump up and down? You're going to go to a Dean Graziosi growth event and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you're going and going, and you get to a point and they're like, oh my God, we've grown apart. And somebody leaves you, or someone calls you, tells you that you're a dreamer or you're no good. I've watched it happen so many times with people who desire another level of life because the people around you want to stay status quo and you make them uncomfortable. So heartbreak is pretty high in this world of growing, of going next level. And that's okay, because that's the way it's supposed to be. I believe God, the universe, whatever, designed it that way because they're meant to be with these people and you're meant to be with us. It doesn't mean you have to hurt anybody along the way, but there's a lot of heartache. There's a lot of heartbreak. So what I noticed with underdogs who spin it into a win is they take that heartbreak from any area, from parents, from a relationship, from a marriage to a bad partnership. They take that heartbreak and they ball it back up, poof, and use it as energy. So they transform heartbreak into leverage, heartbreak into energy, heartbreak into success. Now, maybe I'm completely off. Maybe no one on here has ever had any heartbreak and I'm totally off. No one in here has ever felt like they were growing and the person alongside them was staying still and it felt uncomfortable. If that's the case, I'm sorry, I'm completely wrong. But I bet to say it's over 75% of the people that are watching me right now. Maybe even more. Let me know what you think. Patrick, let me have some of those. We're going to get to some questions here. I got some more stuff I want to share. And then I want you to think about how being the underdog can make you innovative. I wanted to go a little deeper, so I have some notes here that I want to get you on innovation and exponential growth because, thank you, man. Appreciate it. So okay, cool. I want you, this is just really powerful because I have a dear friend here in Phoenix, Arizona named John Langbine. And John is super successful, great guy, love him, amazing dad. He's probably one of the, I have friends that I've had forever, but out here in Phoenix, he's like my dearest friend here in Phoenix, outside my work relationship. Got great working relationships, but friends. So John's got a great company. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. He was the underdog. John grew up in a family, I think, of 6 or 7. And he was somewhere in the middle. They lived in a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house and had no money. And the car, like literally some people would get left home because they had one car, and he said he'd go out and sit in the car like in the winter with a snowmobile suit on like an hour before so he could get in because he'd make sure he'd make it if they were going to the mall or going to the movies. Like last kids that didn't make the car didn't go to the movies or go to the mall on their once a quarter trip to the movies. Everything that you could imagine on John was set up for him to fail. Now, all his siblings, great people, but they all worked for like the post office in this little town where he grew up, or for the county, and none of them ever did anything more than what maybe their parents did. And again, that has no disrespect. But why John break out? Why does John have a company that does over $100 million? And why is John successful? Because he found a way to turn being an underdog to his advantage. He got through school the best he could and got down to ASU when he was older, paying his own way through ASU. And he takes a trip to New York one day. And I just want to tell you how underdogs can think and how you can create exponential growth compared to the people along the way that don't. I know this, maybe it doesn't tie in, but I thought this is a really inspirational story, and I thought you could get a lot of value out of it. So John goes to New York City and he sees that they're selling these fake Rolexes on the street for like 75 bucks. He's like, oh my God, they're amazing. He buys like 10 of them. He's in Arizona State University and here in Phoenix, Arizona. He goes back and he sells all of them for like 150 bucks, just like that. So now he realizes he didn't have money. He's the underdog, but he did everything here. The power of you can't. He went and talked to his best friend. He goes, oh, that won't work. And you need money to make money. Everybody told him they couldn't. People never saw him coming because he saw where he come from, didn't have money. He was working his ass off to pay for his way, working every day to pay for his way through school. How's he going to start this business? He had to be innovative because he didn't have the money to go buy a lot of watches, but he found a way to be enthusiastic over it, and of course transform heartbreak because his family told him he should never even go to college, that he's just wasting his money. So he transformed all that. He goes upstream and he finds the guy that's buying, he didn't have money to buy a lot of watches, but he went to the guy, he went back to New York where he bought these imitation Chinese Rolexes, and people knew they were fake. They weren't trying to be imitation, they were fake Rolexes. They knew it. You buy it for 75 bucks, not 5 grand. So he goes to the guy and says, listen, I don't have money to buy a lot, but if I gave you a $100 bill right now, would you tell me who you buy these from? Think of the innovation. He didn't have the money, but he wanted to find the supplier. So now he finds the person this guy's buying from, and the guy that's selling them for 75, he was buying them for 25. He goes to this guy and says, listen, I got to be honest with you. I think I can move 10 of these a day, but I don't have the money. Could you front me just 10? I'll give you the money back, and then as I go, just keep exponentially growing the inventory you want. That guy said yes. He starts in business now. He's innovative because he's got money coming in and he's growing this crazy business in school of selling pretend Rolexes, and all of a sudden he sees the opportunity of being innovative on another level. They never saw him coming. He goes to a frat house and says, guys, how would you like to all make money selling these Rolexes? Now he's paying 25 bucks or 50 bucks at the time. He takes all of his profit and he goes to the next guy and says, hey, I'm buying you, you're the distributor. How can I give you $1,000 and you just give me the name of the person who makes these watches in China? He went all the way upstream and then got them for like 12 bucks. Now he could give the difference at a $50 commission to people selling underneath him. There was a point where he was selling thousands of these Rolexes a week. Now, John went on, that was just a temporary business. He stopped doing that. He went on to doing the same kind of transactions with tickets, and now he's one of the largest ticket providers in the world for high-end tickets. You want to go to the Super Bowl, you want to go to World Series, you want to go to the World Cup, anything you want to do that's a big event in the sports world, he owns the high-level tickets. He's an incredible guy. But his story just reminds me of he was the underdog, and so were all his siblings. And all of his siblings let being an underdog keep them stuck, where he found a way to use these 5 and other ones that we'll be recognizing as his fuel and to never give up. And that's a little inspiration. I know that story maybe didn't match perfectly, but I want to inspire you because he's just a regular guy. I love the guy, and look where he is now. No reason you can't be there. Okay, let's get to some questions. You guys doing okay? Let me know if you like today. Let me know if you guys like the underdog advantage. Okay, question 1 from Christopher Brown. How do you overcome lack of resources to be able to pay for speed? Okay, here's the cool part. Think of, I don't know where you are, Christopher, but I don't know anything that can exponentially grow what you want to do than modeling or learning from those playing the game at the highest level possible. So what happens is, I don't think we're taught that the value of wisdom. I mean, what I shared today, really think about it. I share the same exact strategies with my group who pay me $8,300 a month to be in my group, my 100K group. Same strategies to people who pay me $2,300 a month in my $25,000 a year mastermind. Because these are the strategies that work. There's no magic money machine. There's no, open up this box and this is the gift to be a millionaire. This is the secret. There is none. It's all these little steps. It's all these foundational things that lead up to success. So with that, I don't know if you or anyone, you or most people, not the people on this watching right now, place the value on wisdom that you really should. So with that is, whatever it is that you want to do, Christopher, if it's real estate, if it's online, if it's a brick and mortar building, find someone playing the game at the highest level possible. Online, my stuff, and get as much, you're here, get as much value as you can. But don't let what I'm sharing today, you might think, oh, this is all good, Dean, but I want to start making money on Amazon. That's what people think. Like, or Dean, this is good, but I want to start flipping my first house doing a wholesale deal. And they're like, bypass that, realize going upstream, this is the stuff you need. Because if you don't have the enthusiasm, you don't have the innovation, you don't have the power, you don't have the transformation of that heartache that doesn't drag you down. If you don't do that, if you don't do those things, then it doesn't matter if it's Amazon or real estate or online, thank you, Mike, or anything else, it's not going to work. So just you being here right now is gaining you so much resources that took me 30 years to figure out. But there's other places. There's so many great videos online for free. Whatever it is you want to do, search out who the best are, find their videos, find their interviews, find their podcasts. And when you can sacrifice, and I mean it, sacrifice money for things that aren't fueling your life, save it up, and then get the next level deep dive courses or training, or go work for somebody for free on the weekends. You want to be a great real estate agent or a real estate investor? Find someone great in your area and say, I'd love to work for free for you on the weekends. Listen, it's success tax. I use that word all the time. Everybody wants that next level of life. Most people aren't willing to put the work in. I'm not saying you are, Christopher. You're here, man. That's awesome. But put the work in, because a little hard work now can mean a lifetime of abundance and freedom. All right, Christopher, great question. Okay, Irene, journaling has always been my weakness. Any tips? It's been your weakness, meaning that you don't do it, Irene. Here's the thing. Find something that does work, because you're spending time, maybe journaling's not for you. Maybe journaling's not it. I mean, here's the thing. I tried journaling. I did journaling for about a 9-month straight run, and it really helped my life. But my life went to another level that I don't journal right now, because when I wake up in the morning, I think of something I'm grateful for immediately. A lot of you, if you read my book, you know my morning routine. I think of something I'm grateful for immediately, like low level, like just being alive, or the sheets feel good, or I got a good night's sleep, or my kids are healthy, just to put my frame in that mind. And then I think of one thing that was a win for me the day before, because we always think about what we didn't accomplish. We don't give ourselves enough credit for what we did. So I go, oh wow, yesterday I closed that deal. Yesterday I had that moment with my son. Yesterday, me and my daughter, whatever it is. And then I think of one win for today. Today, one thing I'm absolutely going to accomplish is this. I do all that in just a few minutes. And right now, that works for me as good as the journaling, because I'm in a really good space in my life right now. I feel really enthusiastic, really energetic. I feel connected with my clients, with you guys, more than I've ever felt in my entire life. So I'm in a good space. I don't need to journal right now. Now, maybe somebody else give you different advice. There are phases in my life where I need to journal every day. I also need to set goals and then look at my goals literally every day. Right now, I'm probably looking at my goals once a month, but I teach people, look at them every day, journal every day, because if you're at a place where you want to grow, sometimes you need that. So you might say, hey, I'm going to journal every day for the next 45 days, next 90 days, and I'm going to see the trends of when I felt good and when I didn't. Like, that's what I loved about journaling, is I'd write down, I had a great day today because of these thoughts and these actions. Oh, today was a little tough because of these thoughts and these actions. Then I'd go back over the last 30 days and go, wow, when I do that, I don't feel so good. When I do that, I feel good. I'm going to do more of that and less of that. And that's what journaling did for me, and I like looking back and see the emotions I had at that moment and getting it out. But find something that fits you. Journaling might be amazing for your best friend who's crushing it, but maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's practicing gratitude. Maybe it's 10 minutes of gratitude meditation, just thinking about all the things you love in your life, all the things that are good. Get in a space, shut off everybody around you. I don't know what it is. Find what works for you. Find what fuels you, because all I'm trying to help you do, Irene, is be the best version of you. Don't try to be someone else. And I'm not saying you are, but so many of us make those mistakes. Okay. Let's see. Next one is from Vanessa. What's up, Vanessa? Okay. People sometimes have a bias against me, and I have to prove myself more than others. How do I strike the balance between staying quiet and then smashing it? Okay, so people sometimes have a bias against me and I have to prove myself. So for me, I used to feel I had to prove myself all the time. But now, and I hope I'm answering this right for you, but now I don't feel like I have to prove myself to anybody at all unless it's somebody that's a needle mover. Is it the deal I want to close, the partner I want to bring on, the money I want to make, or the boss that you want to get the promotion from? If that's the case, then do it in a quiet, confidence way. Because here's what I know. Actions will show me if someone's a badass. I've had someone try to tell me, work really hard to prove it to me, and really they just put on a show. If you're here, I know that you're truly a badass because you use the word smashing it. So you are a badass. That's all I can say. So here's what I'd say is be the best version of you. Be the person you would like other people to be. You know, there's a great saying, it's Tony Robbins says in a relationship, if you're not sure, if you're like planning your escape, trying to get out of a relationship, he always says, why not try this? For the next 90 days, treat the end of your relationship like the beginning. Because sometimes if you treat the end of a relationship like the beginning, then there is no end. So what he always says is, spend the next 90 days being the exact person you would love your mate to be. Sometimes we're like, I wish they would give me more attention. I wish they were closer. I wish they'd ask questions. I wish they would listen. I wish they would wish. What about sometimes if we just be that person? Someone who listens more. You want somebody to listen more? Listen more. Someone who has your back more? Have their back more. Someone that does the little things without recognizing? Do the little things. So sometimes we just be the person we want others to be. And they'll mirror us. Like, wow, I got this. And then Tony says if you do that for 90 days and the person pushed further away and you're truly authentically, then maybe you got to decide, do we do counseling or do we end a bad relationship? I would say that kind of applies to you, Vanessa. Why not, instead of trying to prove yourself, why not just be the best version of you and be the person you would love them to be? And if they don't see that, then the hell with them. Maybe they shouldn't be in your life. And if it's someone you need for business, be the best version of you. And if they don't see it, then there's going to be someone else that does. Sometimes when you're trying here so hard and you're being the best version of you and this person doesn't see it, the person over your shoulder you didn't see coming taps you and goes, wow, I really like all that. What about us in a relationship, in business, and in life? So I would think about that and continue to smash it.
What's up? What's up? Hey, before you go, you need to watch these next few videos. They're absolute game changers. Hurry up and click right over here and watch them, and I'll see you there.